Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA DFS content, NFL content, Prize Pick Sportsbook content. Not entirely sure if I'm going to have an NFL video this week. I will do my best, either probably tomorrow if I do make one. Just with NBA back, it's just NBA is the priority, right, guys? So, been pretty busy with it. So I will do my best to get an NFL video out, but no promises there. But yeah, I've been playing DFS full time for a few years now. If you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter right here, or X, sorry. And then you can, I'll have my posts on Reddit linked down below where you can ask me questions leading up to the slate, after lock, night slate stuff, anything you need. I'll have that link down below as well. All right, guys. So let's go over my before we go into my lineup from last night. If you're looking for more in-depth content, where I give you guys player pools for tournaments, cores, flag plants. I give you a flag plant playing GPPs every day. Private videos, like I said, cores. I'm in Discord 24 hours a day, just shooting the shit. I will have that link down below as well. I give you guys sportsbook, prize book plays as well. All right, yeah. Let's get into my lineup first. Let's just take a look at the legacy day that we had yesterday. Just yesterday was just unbelievably wild. I'm sorry, guys. I have to scroll up a lot. Um, should have done this earlier. But let's scroll up. You don't want to miss this. I'll show you guys my lineup in a minute. But all this green. We had $27 into $4,000. We had another $27 into over $1,000. Nice wake up there. That's not even the best of it. Scrolling back up here, another one. $50 into over close to $5,000. Nice win there. Nice there. 15 into 500. $20 into a nice win there. That's my lineup. Third place there. Fourth place there. $100 into over $2,000. Just absurd there. First place finish there. First place finish there. Third place finish there. Just absolutely wild. $20 into over $1,000 there. Yeah, then let's get to my lineup from last night. This was my lineup from last night. I went with Bub Carrington, Bilal Coulibaly, Julian Champagny, Jeremy Sochan, Derek Lively, Luka Doncic, Chet Holmgren, Nikola Jokic. My core for this slate was Luka Doncic, Derek Lively, Jeremy Sochan, and Bub Carrington. And then the flag plant I told everyone to be overweight on GPPs was Chet Holmgren at 16%. So I felt really, really good about that. And then, yeah, round out my lineup with the rest. Just phenomenal night all around. Hopefully you guys had a great night. I will show you guys my lineup in tomorrow's video. We'll just do every other night now before the slate because you guys know I don't sweat. But I can tell you my lineup. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I typed it out like a minute ago. All day cuz is nuking right now. Okay, here's my lineup. I went with LaMelo Ball, Trey Mann, Cody Martin, Caleb Martin, Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, Dyson Daniels, and Karl Anthony Towns. My core today was Karl Anthony Towns, LaMelo Ball, Scotty Barnes, and Dyson Daniels. So really, really good core once again here. And we got some of those plays at low ownership outside of like Dyson. But Cat came in way under than I thought he was going to come under. Who else? Scotty Barnes, sub 20%. So, yeah, I don't just give you guys the chalk core plays, like the chalk. Every other content creator or tout out there is just going to give you the top 4 highest owned plays as a core. Yeah, I don't do that. So, I just stuttered. Where'd that come from? But, yeah, Miami and Charlotte. So, Miami has played one game. We can take a look at what they did. For some reason, I can't find the box scores on NBA. But yeah, we can take a look at what they did. They went with Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jovic, Bam Adebayo, Terry Rozier, Tyler Herro. We also could have Josh Richardson coming back. Not going to impact too much there, but really good matchup here going up against Charlotte. Assuming Charlotte can keep this game competitive, I really like Bam Adebayo at 8.1K. Him, Jimmy Butler, or I would honestly say him, Tyler Herro, probably going to be their go-to guys on offense right now. Has double-double upside, had a bad first game, might keep his ownership down. The only downside is center only, but great matchup here up against Charlotte. I don't think too many people are going to play him either, so I do like Bam Adebayo there up at the top. Definitely my preferred option of the Miami main guys. Don't really like Jimmy Butler. He's firmly in play. It's Jimmy Butler, statue stuffer, good defender, can rack up those blocks, steals. Can do a little bit of everything. He's of course in play, but I'd rather just play like a Bam Adebayo or even like a Tyler Herro for cheaper. But not amazing plays here that I'm like running to roster. Nikola Jovic should continue to start. Not the best point per minute. This game definitely a bit of an outlier, but yeah, he isn't play as a value. I think there will be better value on this slate though. Moving on to Charlotte. So they had a game tonight, and we can just take a look at what they did. Alrighty. So, of course, you guys saw my lineup. I was very, very high in Charlotte. I played three Hornets. Not the best matchup here going up against Miami, but I still think there's some pretty good plays here. Brandon Miller is still going to continue to be out. Mark Williams, I would expect to continue to be out here. You should continue to get the start of Cody Martin, Miles Bridges, Nick Richards, LaMelo Ball, Seth Curry, and then Josh Green came back to back-to-back. We'll see if he plays. If he's out, it's going to be more minutes for like Cody Martin, Trey Mann, those type guys. And then you saw Trey Mann and Grant Williams play the most off of the bench. LaMelo fouled out in the fourth quarter. With that being said, I still like LaMelo Ball, even not in the best matchup going up against Miami. I mean, he's just doing everything for this team right now. He's also playing huge minutes. He fouled out in 30 minutes. He would have played a lot more. If this game's going to stay competitive, it's going to have to be a pretty big game from a guy like LaMelo Ball. So I still do like LaMelo quite a bit as a spin up. Miles, I think, is fine. I feel like the industry has been under-projecting Miles Bridges. This guy was like a 8.5K player last year, so I still think you're getting him at a discount. Like I said, going up against Miami, not the best spot, but I do think industry is kind of under-projecting him a little bit, so I do have some interest there. I think Nick Richards, assuming Mark Williams continues to be out, is a good value at 4.7K. He had a big game tonight. Grant Williams still gets some backup 5, backup 4 run. He's in play. And then I really like Mann once again for value. I think he's one of the better value plays on the slate. His usage off the bench, just absolutely absurd. He's going to chuck when he's out there. I really like him once again here for value. I think Cody Martin is a solid value at 4.1K as well. He had a bad game tonight, but can't really look into that too much. All right, let's take a look at the Cavs. They just got done their game tonight up against Detroit. They blew them out. Cade got them back into the fourth a little bit, but starters were Dean Wade, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Dean Wade had an outlier performance. And then the quotes were in the beginning of the year they weren't going to play the main guys huge minutes, and they were going to give their bench more run. That seems to be the case so far. So good on them for telling the truth. Good spot here. Did Mobley have a good game? I was pretty high on him. Okay game. Four steals, 2 blocks, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. That's pretty solid at this price point. But Donovan Mitchell at 8.9K. Looking at the price range and guys that are around him, I think there are some guys I'd rather play over him. I'd rather play like Anthony Edwards, even like Apollo going up against Memphis. But Donovan Mitchell firmly in play. Even like Scotty Barnes. I think there are better plays around him, but he's their clear go-to guy. Just the problem with the Cavs is a lot of the players kind of eat into each other's usage, right? Darius Garland has big games here and there. Both the bigs, they're going to, especially Evan Mobley, they're going to eat into each other. So, it's really hard to gauge who's going to have the big game here. I always just prefer Evan Mobley, and good spot going up against Washington as well. So, yeah, I think Evan Mobley is probably my favorite play on this team. I can't pay 6K for Caris LeVert. I think Darius Garland's overpriced. Jared Allen, just give me Evan Mobley. I think Mitchell's fine. And then if you want to play like Dean Wade, it's fine. Just, if he's going to be somewhat popular tomorrow, I want absolutely none of him. But if he's low-owned, you can take darts on it. It's fine. Okoro only played 18 minutes off the bench, so pretty disgusting team if you ask me. And then we get into the Wizards. So the Wizards went with Bub Carrington in the starting lineup, and they benched Jonas Valanciunas. Went with Sarr at the 5. I believe Sarr got into some foul trouble, I want to say. No foul trouble, only 22 minutes. I would assume I believe Jonas got the rest of the minutes off of the bench. We can just take a look, though. 42. Okay, so that makes some sense. All right. With that being said, so obviously some blowout risk here. Washington is the worst team in the league, but if they're going to keep the game competitive, it's going to have to be a big game from Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole. Once again, no priorities here. I think they're more just large field GPP plays for me. I think Kyle Kuzma has higher floor plus ceiling. I think Jordan Poole has a very low floor, but he does have a ceiling. Jonas is just overpriced. He can't do it. Sar at 5'6", really tough matchup for him. Don't have a ton of interest there. And then I like some value here. Assuming Bub Carrington starts once again at 4.2K, I think he's a good value. I think last game he just really bad game from him. I think I like him as a bounce back candidate. And then I like Koulibaly. He's gonna take a step up this year, and I'm expecting him to continue to play over 30 minutes. So yeah, I do like me some Koulibaly. I do like me some Bub. If I had to pick one, it would be Koulibaly. I don't really think it's close for me. And then I will mention Keyshawn George at 3.5K. He should continue to play around 20 minutes. I actually think he's firmly in play as a value if you need it. And yeah, it's going to do it for Washington. Let's move on to Boston. So, one thing to note here with Boston is Jaylen Brown said whenever they're going to go against shit teams, they're going to play their bench more. They're going to give Peyton Pritchard more run, and they're going to give Sam Hauser more run. Sam Hauser is out for tomorrow. Kristaps Porzingis is out for tomorrow. But I would continue to expect Peyton Pritchard to play high 20s minutes off of the bench. And he'll get below a run. Just not the super junk time, but I would expect around 25 minutes from Peyton Pritchard again. 5-11 shooting. Definitely a floor game for him with his production. I think he's a good value at 4.7. So I like Peyton Pritchard quite a bit once again here. I think Al Horford's fine at 5.2K. The only problem is if the game goes out, he's only going to play around 20 minutes. Tough case there. And I continue to like both the guards here, in Drew Holiday and Derek White. Not must, not priorities, just fine plays. And Tatum, a really good spend up. I mean, he's been absolutely nuking. He's going to project really, really well, even at 9.7K. So, like Tatum, I think Brown's fine. I think both the guards are fine. I like Peyton Pritchard quite a bit for value once again here. I don't know if I get to much else off the bench, but people thought Jordan Walsh was going to be in a rotation. I thought they were just going to trim it down to like an 8-man rotation. That was the case before the blowout. So, yeah, it's going to be more solidified minutes for a guy like Peyton Pritchard there. All right, Detroit had a game tonight. Tobias Harris is playing huge minutes. He's just not doing anything with those minutes, but we can take a look at what Detroit did. All right, Tobias, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. Not really too much interest in anyone off the bench. Beasley did play 29 minutes. You saw Duren get into foul trouble in 29 as well. Not the best spot here going up against Boston. I think if I were to play anyone here, it would be like a Jalen Duren. I think he could feast in this spot going up against Horford. Listen, Horford's a good defender, but he's getting up there in age. I think, with the amount of skill Jalen Duren has on the glass, you could see like a monster double-double here. So I don't mind Duren there. I think he's intriguing in GPPs. Cade Cunningham, if they want any chance of keeping this game competitive, it's going to have to be a big game from him. So intrigued there in GPPs. Ivy, they want him taking a step up this year. He's in play. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a fine value, prefer him to Blake Beasley. And yeah, I don't know if I get too much else here. So let's move on to Thunder. I really like the Thunder tomorrow. Okay, really like the Thunder. So, starters, SGA, Chet, J-Dub. Caruso came off the bench. Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe. Those were the five. With Caruso off the bench, he didn't play much off of the bench. Just whoever doesn't start, they're going to run a deep bench. So it's hard to trust anyone off the bench here. But like, if we could like Isaiah Joe starting again, I think he's a decent value. Low floor, but has a ceiling. Aaron Wiggins had a monster game. Definitely a bit of an outlier, but he is in play at 3.4K. And I really like the starters here. I love SGA at 9.8K. Just his role without Josh Giddey on this team is absolutely elite. He's still going to shoot the ball a ton, stuff the statue. I really like SGA. I also really like Chet Holmgren at 7.7K. Huge minutes, good shot blocker, probably going to get you close to a double-double, good scorer. Really like Chet, and I think J-Dub is a good play at 7-1. Played 34 minutes like him. Like I said, I think Joe's a reasonable value, assuming he starts. Dort is playable at 4.3K. There's a lot to like on OKC tomorrow, personally to me. Mainly the top three guys right here. All right, moving on to the Bulls. They had a game tonight. I believe Josh Giddey didn't play as much as I thought he would, which little bit concerning. Where's Chicago? Here they are. Chicago won starters of Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic, Kobe White. Kobe White, monster game. Zach LaVine and Josh Giddey. Saw Io play big minutes off the bench. That's basically it, and I would expect that to continue here. Lonzo Ball is, we'll see if he plays. So I would assume he'll be back. If that's the case, I don't know if I can get to anyone off the bench here. But yeah, I think Vooch at 8-1 is a really good play going up against OKC. I think he had a good game tonight as well. He'll get you close to a double-double. Obviously another good scorer. Guy that's going to chuck from three. So, Vooch, I like quite a bit at the center position. Kobe White feels like a chase to me at that price point. I'd much rather play Zach LaVine at 7-1, who I think once again is too cheap. So, like me some LaVine there. Giddy's playable, but just give me LaVine all day long over him. Patrick Williams overpriced. I would assume overpriced. And then, like I said, I would expect Lonzo back, so I don't know. I can't really touch anyone off the bench there. This team is pissing me off. Pissing me off, guys. Pissing me off. I played some Suggs tonight in another lineup, just 22 minutes, just randomly. This team might be redacted outside of like Paulo Franz, Wendell Jr. But with that being said, I think there is decent amount to like with the main guys. Good matchup going up against Memphis. I think Wendell Jr., if he's going to continue to play close to 30 minutes, I really like him for value at 5K. I'm expecting him to be somewhat popular tomorrow. Paulo Banchero, I think is solid as a spend up at 8.9K. Franz firmly in play. If they're going to play close to 40 minutes, I think you have to have interest in these guys. Jalen Suggs, here's the thing. If I knew he played 30 minutes tomorrow, I would love him for value, but as it stands right now, only 22 minutes tonight, tough. Not going to play KCP. I think Anthony Black had a good game tonight. Just unbelievable to playing Anthony Black close to 30 minutes a night. Crazy. I think he had back-to-back good games, actually. He had 24 there, had a good game tonight. Wild. Isaac was out tonight. We'll see if he plays, but not going to change too much for me there. You can't play anyone in Memphis. They're trolling the rotation. Just can't do it. It's basically a cross-off for me. Can't do anything about it. And then Raptors, we'll keep an eye on it. Quickly, he's going to be out. RJ Barrett, I haven't seen anything. We'll see, but I would expect everyone that was out today to be out tomorrow. Like quickly, RJ Barrett, Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown. So we're going to go over it assuming the same thing that happened tonight happens tomorrow. So let's take a look at what they did with the rotation. Scotty Barnes, big minutes. Jakob Poeltl got into foul trouble. Davion got into foul trouble. Ochai Agbaji, 26 minutes. This game, everyone got into foul trouble. And then Grady Dick played 24. Also got into foul trouble. This entire game got into foul trouble. Boucher, 20 minutes off the bench. Mogbo smashed. Snead played a lot. Can't really take a sample from this. Everyone just got into foul trouble. But with that being said, I mean, Scotty Barnes started at the point. He's going to do everything for this team with no RJ Barrett, no Quickly, no Kelly Olynyk, no Bruce. Love him once again here up at the top. I played him tonight. I think he's a really good play tomorrow, and I really like Jakob Poeltl. I know it's not the best matchup going up against Rudy Gobert, but they have no other bigs. He's going to play all the minutes he can handle as long as he stays out of foul trouble. So really like Jakob Poeltl. I think Scotty Barnes is good. Davion Mitchell's too pricey for my liking. I'd much rather play like Grady Dick, who I think is a solid value. Once again here, and then Ochai Agbaji is firmly in play. And then Chris Boucher should play 15 to 20 minutes off the bench. Good point per minute. I think he's an okay value. I'm not going to chase you couldn't pay me to chase any of those bench guys. Moving on to the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, McDaniels. Starters, Dante playing big minutes off the bench. Same with Naz Reid. Mike Conley, they don't want to give him a ton of run right now. Although I do want to see how many minutes he did them with last game. I want to say it was mid-20s. Yeah, mid-20s. Okay. So, I mean, if they're going to continue to give him mid-20s minutes, I actually think he's fine for value. Same with, like, Dante. I wouldn't play Dante and Mike Conley together. But if you guess right on which one's going to play the big minutes, whoever does would be a good value. I once again really like Naz Reid. I mean, he's going to get most of the backup 4, backup 5 minutes. We know he's a really good point per minute, kind of like Peyton Pritchard. If he's going to continue to play mid-20s minutes, he's going to be a really solid value. Rudy Gobert at 7K, good match for him. I don't mind him. He seems safe. Julius Randle had a big game last game. Just there for me. It's fine. I'd much rather just pay up for Anthony Edwards, who I really like at 8.7K as well. All right, last game here, guys. Let's go on to Houston Spurs. Great spot here for Houston. I mean, Sengun's just, you guys know, he's always one of my favorite players, and I'm always going to like him pretty much every slate, and fine spot here for Sengun. So, always a great spend up. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, but I think he deserves the price point. Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, kind of indifferent on both of them, but great spot for both of them. Jalen Green, higher ceiling. Fred VanVleet, the higher floor. Jabari Smith, 6'5". Just give me like Jalen Green, Fred over those guys. And then Dylan Brooks is playable. Then there's such a deep bench, I find it hard to really get to anyone else. And then moving on to the Spurs, I would assume Vassell is continuing to be out. Was it say be reevaluated in a week or yeah, November 1st? So he's going to be out here. They went with Victor Wembanyama, Chris Paul, Jeremy Sochan, Champagny, and Barnes, I believe. Let me just fact check that. Sorry, Sochan. Did I say Sochan? But here's the starters: Barnes, Sochan, Wemby, Chris Paul, Champagny. I think Sochan once again is just entirely too cheap. So really like Sochan here at 5.1K. Good rebounder, stuff in the stat sheet. So I like Sochan quite a bit. And then they ran Pop actually ran kind of a tighter rotations. Like if we're going to continue to get Julian Champagny 25 to 30 minutes a game, he is a solid value. Now, do I think he's going to go a bit over owned because of the last game? Yeah, this game complete outlier. He's not a good point per minute guy. So ownership's definitely going to depend on what I want to do with Champagny tomorrow. Assuming he continues to start. Sorry about that, guys. Chris Paul at 5.8K. How many minutes he end with? 30 minutes? I mean, I don't mind that in large field GPPs. And then 1B, fine. I think he's good spend up, but a little bit worried about the minutes there. I forgot to turn these off. I'll turn them off for next video, guys. I apologize. So that's going to be a slate, guys. I hope you guys had a great night tonight, and I'll let you guys know how I do in the next video.